Hello, I'm Greg, the nerd historian, and this is the Speculative Fiction Almanac. Happy first week of 2024. You are watching the very first episode of a new series where I explore the worlds of speculative fiction one week at a time. I do this by celebrating the birthdays of great creators of speculative fiction, past and present, and sharing at least one or two books or movies or shows. Tuesday, January 2nd, is the birthday of Isaac Asimov, author of many books, probably most notably the Foundation series. If you're unfamiliar with Foundation, Quinn Howard has a great video on his channel that gives an excellent overview of the series, which I'll link in the comments. Wednesday, January 3rd, is both the birthday of Dan Harmon, co-creator of Rick and Morty, and the birthday of j.r.r. Tolkein, Lord of Middle-earth. If you don't know who they are, this may not be the channel for you. Friday, January 5th, is the birthday of the author I want to introduce to you today, if you don't know her already. Tananarive Due is an author who's written in many genres, both fiction and nonfiction, and her horror novel, The Living Blood, won the American Book Award in 2002. She teaches a class she created on black horror at UCLA and is featured in the documentary Horror Noir, A History of Black Horror, which is on Shudder. I have a link to her channel and her Goodreads author profile in the description. I highly recommend checking out her writing. Here's the opening to her story Afternoon from her collection Ghost Summer Stories. At 6:30, the moon was already faintly visible in the waning daylight, patiently awaiting its turn to light up the streets in pale blue and gray. The aftermoon, Kenny always called it. It wasn't the real moon, the full moon. It only looked like it, except chewed smaller at the rims. The aftermoon was startling and nearly as beautiful, but it ultimately held no more allure for Kenya than it would if she were any other city dweller tossed suddenly into its sight. Kenya ignored the moon as she walked from the Clark Street subway stop toward her building, vanishing inside the purposeful stream of twilight homegoers. She felt it watching her. She always did, but she refused to look up. She decided a long time ago that just because the moon tried to talk to her didn't mean she had to listen. Her grandfather had felt differently about that, but then again, he was different in a lot of ways. Kenya was especially proud that she didn't allow ghosts and memories to steer her life. Kenya's stomach growled. At dinner time, especially during the summer, Brooklyn Heights always seemed like the sidewalks had been basted with butter, pine nuts, and garlic. All the takeout places had their doors propped open, trying to tantalize people like Kenya, who never planned their meals in advance. But tonight she knew exactly what she wanted, because she'd withheld it from herself the night before when she'd wanted it most. A barely seared, blood-red steak. The meat was waiting for her in her freezer at home, so she thought and cook it, maybe 20 seconds in the pan on each side. This was the only time of month Kenya knew exactly what she wanted to eat. Not a need, she reassured herself, just an appetite. Her grandfather might even be proud of her if he'd still been living and could have shared a moonlight meal. Except, she reminded herself, he would have been irritated with her for the ritual of cooking the flesh at all. Not to mention how absurd he would think it was not to have hunted her food first, making her own kill. So that's Tananarive Due. Again, I highly encourage you to check out her writing. The rest of this story took turns I didn't see coming. That's all I have for this week. Thank you for joining me in this inaugural episode. Until I see you next time, keep reading and keep dreaming.